Welcome to the Dental Team Podcast. I'm your host, Kiera Dent, and I have this crazy idea that maybe I could combine a doctor and a team member's perspective because let's face it, dentistry can be a challenging profession with those two perspectives. I've been a dental assistant, treatment coordinator, scheduler, biller, office manager, regional manager, practice owner, and I have a team of traveling consultants where we have traveled to over 165 different offices coaching teams. Yep, we don't just understand you, we are you. Our mission is to positively impact the world of dental, and I believe that this podcast is the greatest way I can help elevate teams, grow VIP experiences, reduce stress, and create A-teams. Welcome to the Dental Team Podcast. Hello, Dental Team listeners. This is Kiera, and you guys, I hope you're having an awesome day. I hope you're just feeling loved. I hope you're feeling excited. And also, if you're having a rough day, high five. That's okay. I hope you guys just know that there are people around you that are here to support you. So that's actually what I'm going to talk about today. I want to dive into why having a community of like-minded people is paramount for success of a business. Why is this essential? So when I think about this, I think about, all right, Kiera, look in your life. Where have you had success? Like, where have you been able to grow and evolve and get this success? And I'm like, honestly, it's from a lot of the peers that I hang out with. A lot of times it's from the events that I go to. So when thinking about that, I think about why. And I know for me in business, I oftentimes, this is bad. Okay. So like, I'm just going to tell you like, this part's not the great part. Don't worry. It's going to get great. Okay. I oftentimes like to compare because I want to know where am I at? Like on a measuring, like there's really no measuring stick if you think about it. Because this measuring stick is totally imaginary. I could say like, well, how am I comparing to $1 million business? But like, why the heck do I want to compare to that? Because maybe their life I don't actually want. So in reality, this whole measuring stick and comparing is actually a totally elusive fraud because it's not real and it's not even actual. But yet we have these measuring sticks in our life because we're chasing after something that we think is going to make us happy. Notice what I said. We're chasing after something that we think is going to make us happy. When in actuality, it's really not. But we think it is. We're chasing after some type of feeling and emotion. So I think it's super important to have people around us because we want to find out. Like for me, I love to be surrounded by an elevated peer group because they actually help me expand what I believe is possible. So I'm just going to tell you guys a quick story. When I went to my first Tony Robbins event, okay, I love Tony Robbins. Guys, like I really do. Maybe I will bring my like photo album where me and Tony Robbins had an intervention for like 2 hours and I went up on stage and I got a huge hug and it was the greatest day of my life. Okay. But I remember when I went to my first one, that did not happen. My first one, I was pretty new into business. It was in 2019. I started the business in 2016. So I was 3 years in. And like 2016, let's just like make this clear. It was November 2016. So I'm about 2 years at this point. Brand new baby business. I don't even know how to look at a P&L. Don't know what I'm even looking at, but I decided I'm going to go join Tony Robbins Business Mastery because I wanted to learn more about business. And I remember when I was sitting there, they had us do an exercise and it was trying to figure out like the costs on our business. And like I had my P&L, I had been coaching doctors. I didn't feel as confident with it as I do today. But I remember sitting next to this guy. I can still like see his face. And he basically told me in the most loving, respectful way that like I needed to learn my numbers. And we had to share. And I was like, well, I don't like really know this or this or this. And then I asked him and he told me, yep, I did this, this, this. Well, guys, if you know me at all, I'm really, really, really good at deflecting when I'm uncomfortable. And I will just ask you questions about yourself and I will turn and be like, let me help you. I'm a really, really, really fantastic consultant. I can solve people's problems on a dime. So instead of asking this person for help, I pivoted and was like, okay, perfect. Tell me about your business. Guys, I don't freaking know what the heck I'm doing. My paper is pretty much blank. I talk for about 3 minutes and realize I feel like an idiot and I don't know what I'm talking about. So I quickly pivot and I say, hey, like, why don't we talk about your business? Tell me about your gaps. Let me see how I can support you and give you tons of value. And I think back to that. And this guy was like super nice and he told me a little bit. I remember being like, oh my gosh, I don't know any of this. I know nothing. I don't know anything about what he's talking about. And then he said, hey, let me help you. And I felt really, 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 really uncomfortable because I felt so stupid. I felt dumb. But at the same time, like I wanted this. This is why I signed up. This is why I paid $10,000 to go to an event. 10 grand, guys. And I'm freaking like very brand new in business. But I wanted to be there and I wanted to experience it. And so I just like learned a few little tips from him. So that was event number 1. Fast forward to 2022. Okay. So I went 2019, 2020, 21, 22. 2022, I go to an event. Okay. So I've grown a lot in business. I think from when I went in 2019 to where I am today, I think I had about a 500% increase in business. Like I learned a ton of things there. I met a lot of other friends, not the person I told you about, met a really awesome friend. We're still friends to this day. We talk at least once a month. We've considered doing a business venture together. He keeps me really accountable. And he's somebody that I feel like I remember sending him. So this is a second friend from that first event. I remember sending him a spreadsheet. I remember he wrote back and he's like, Kiera, who writes numbers across? Guys, like I'm doing a P&L going horizontal when most of the time P&Ls go vertical. He's like, Kiera, who the heck does this? And I'm like, I do. And he's like, okay, let me just teach you. Like, this is how you normally set it up. And it was super, super nice of him. Okay. So then fast forward 2022, I go to another event. It's Tony Robbins Platinum Group. I'm in his event, Wealth Mastery. At this point, guys, I'm feeling a little bit better. I know how to read a P&L. We've got a lot more clients. I can help people with business decisions. I've helped merge people. I've owned my own practices. Like I have a lot more experience under my belt. So I felt a lot more confident. We show up to this event and I remember sitting there feeling like an absolute idiot. They were talking about all these things with investments and stocks and bonds. And I remember sitting there thinking, I'm a complete idiot. I don't even know what they're talking about. And I remember there was someone sitting next to me. His name's Brian. Brian turns out to be a wicked smart CPA. Like we're talking multi-bajillionaires are who he works with. I remember Brian, we were sitting there and I was trying to figure out my numbers for how to know if like what my net worth was. Guys, I don't know. This felt like the hardest math problem to me that I'd ever tried to solve. I felt dumb. I felt embarrassed. I felt so small. Back to 2019 Kiera, who's sitting there not even knowing how to read a P&L, not even knowing if I'm profitable or not profitable. So then, Brian, we have the same exercise. And what do? I'm embarrassed. So I talk for like a minute and then I'm like, Brian, let's talk about yours. And I remember Brian pushed back on me and he said, Kiera, I'm here to help. This is what I do, and I want to help you. And I want to show you, like, let's talk about this. Let me walk you through, like, let's make sure yours is actually figured out. From that moment, guys, I realized why I need to have an elevated peer group. I need to have friends around me that are smarter than me. I need to be in events and experiences and spaces where I'm not the smartest one in the room, but I'm also humble enough to take help. I'm also humble enough to ask questions. Brian became one of my best friends. Brian and I, so I have 2 friends from these. Well, I've got lots of friends, but 2 that I talk to on a pretty consistent basis, Brian and Pierce. Pierce was my friend from the first event. Brian's my second friend. And I asked Brian about CPA things. I asked him about real estate. I asked him about how can I help clients that are in high wealth categories? How do I figure out my net worth? How do I, like, what are all these things with rep status for individuals when it comes to real estate? I don't know these words, guys, but I made a friend because I was in an elevated peer group that knows more than I do. And guess what? Brian comes to me, he's like, Kiera, how do you create a podcast? Kiera, how do you coach these different people? We want to start incorporating this into our CPA firm. What are some things that you do? And I realized that no matter what your elevated peer group looks like, you equally bring value to the table. Even if you don't know what it is, but you need to be around people that are inspiring you, that are challenging you, that are pushing you. If you're the smartest one in the room, you need to get a bigger and better peer group. It's actually, I'm so excited because Dental Team, we just created our platinum offices, our doctors, and we have a doctor group where they literally get to come and work together and share with each other and mentor each other. But that's also why, guys, I want you to pick something this year where you're going to go to it and you're going to find an elevated group of people. Because one of the greatest things that ever happened to me in my entire life was meeting Pierce and meeting Brian. And where did I meet them? At an event, at a place where I didn't expect to make a friend. And then, yes, I keep the relationship going. The event was half of the battle and we learned things so I could have common things to talk to them about. But the bigger piece was that we kept the relationship going, that I realized, hey, I don't know what I'm doing with this and they do. And I need to be humble enough to go and ask them. I need to be humble enough to say, I don't know what's going on. This is how, guys, you grow. This is how, like, you can have it from the School of Hard Knocks, or you can find people who have been there, done that, and done it successfully and ask them and bring value yourself. Guys, I didn't think I had a lot of value, but I found out a lot of people don't know how to podcast. They don't know how to produce 12 podcasts a month. Guess what? I do. I do. And I love it. And I can share. I know how to make online courses. I know how to consult. I know how to have businesses in 3 different states with people I don't even see. Literally, I don't see Tina. I think I've met her once in my entire life. Twice, 2 times. I lied. Tina, she works with us, guys. She is literally an employee of ours, and I've never really even hardly met her. I know how to do that. That's a skill that I bring to the table. You have skills, even to multi-million bajillionaires, like people who are, in my opinion, like so far out of my league. But I want to be friends with those people. I want to learn their habits. I want to learn what they do differently. I want to pick their brains. I want to find out what they do differently. Because if I want to be like them and I want to get there, and again, I check to see what their life is like. Pierce has a really awesome life. Brian, really awesome life. I always watch to see the things that they do that I don't like. But they're really good mentors for me of how to be successful in business, how to do things differently, how to live life on the fullest. They do things differently. And so I picked him out of a crowd and said, I'm going to be friends with you. And I want you to teach me, and I'm going to teach you. And we're going to have a great time. Guys, I'm real witty and I'm a lot of fun. So that's oftentimes how I'm able to build friendships. But what I found is if you just get yourself into a group, you're going to find commonalities. You're going to find ways to elevate. You're going to find ways to grow and evolve. So I'm going to ask you, where is your elevated peer group? Where are they? Where are you at? Where are you active? We have our Dentally Team Consulting. So if you want to join our peer group, guys, come. It's super fun. Once a month, all of our doctors get together. Once a month, all of our office managers get together. Our doctor one is called Think Tank Tuesday, and it's a blast. Our doctors literally get together. They learn. I made them get pen pals last month because I wanted them to learn from each other. Or come join our summit, guys. That's another zone the Dentally Team's putting on for you guys. You listen, you like us. Come be with the people that we're attracting. Like-minded people come together. It's going to be a blast. It's April 28th and 29th. It's going to be a blast. Come. I literally give you guys an opportunity to meet other offices. Yes, it's virtual, and I figured out how to make you guys become friends with people virtual. Because if you can find someone that's elevated, I'm also bringing on some of my most elite practices to literally share exactly what they do personally and professionally and with their teams. They're not holding back any secrets. They're literally coming to tell you, because what I want you to have is a mentor, a role model, and somebody that you can call on that's a friend to elevate you. So if you're looking for that, guys, there are peer groups out there. And Dentally Team doesn't have to be the only one. There's tons of them. There's tons of amazing ones out there. There's tons of dental ones and there's tons of non-dental ones. But I want you guys to commit right now that you're going to elevate your peer group. You're going to elevate the people you're around. You're going to take an inventory of the people that you spend the most amount of time with. Literally, I want you to look in your phone right now. Do it. I'll do it with you. Okay. In my phone, it's a little unfair because I had to talk to the bank today. My top people, I have Tiffany Trader, Jason, my husband, Shelby. And if I go down, Brittany Stone and Liz, my coach. In my phone, just scrolling through my top ones. Don't worry, I had to scroll a little bit. There's like 888 numbers, guys. That was the bank, okay? Those are my top 5 people. But if I scroll, those are my top 5 people in my phone right now. Who are your top 5? Who are the top 5 people? And how can you elevate? No, Pierce and Brian, they're not in my top 5. But Pierce, talked to him last week and I've got a call with him next week. Brian, I talked to him last week as well. They literally are in my life at least every single month. I call and ask. I'm not talking to them every day. We're not that good of friends, but we are good enough friends in business and in personal. We are great enough friends that way. So I want you to take inventory right now. Where do you want to grow? For me, I wanted to grow in business and real estate. I wanted to learn more about that. I want to learn more. Like, guys, I really wanted to learn because I work with a lot of really, really, really wealthy doctors. If I can figure out assets and avenues to help them with net worth, with real estate, with systems, with teams, I become a better resource for them. That's why I go in there. Guys, I don't know this stuff, and I want to be an amazing resource for my doctors and our teams. I have to elevate and push myself. So what about for you? What do you want to learn? Do you want to learn a hobby? Do you want to be better at business? Do you want to have better systems? Do you want to have better teams, better culture, better leadership? Where do you need to take inventory to level up, to rise up that's going to make your life even that much more magical? And then I want you to go find a peer. I want you to go find someone that you can be real and honest with. Guys, I have literally cried in front of Pierce. It just happened actually last week and I felt so embarrassed and I felt like a baby and I literally texted him and I'm like, Pierce, I don't know why I get so embarrassed. but I don't like being wrong. I don't like being dumb. I don't like feeling dumb. And do you know what Pierce said? He said, Kiera, you're one of the most brilliant business owners I've ever met. So keep your chin up. This is tricky and you're going to get through it. Do you know how nice it is to have a friend in business who gets my life, who understands it, who I can call and be like, Pierce, I don't freaking know what I'm doing. Help me out with it. And he's not a client. He's not one of my family members. He's literally a friend that I know I can call when I'm having a hard time, a friend who's literally grown with me over the years. So who do you have that's like that pushes you? Guys, Pierce is a freaking bajillionaire. He is so brilliant in business. He is exactly the opposite of me. He's not like me at all. That's why I picked him out of a crowd. Pierce is like a type A entrepreneur, slice your throat. He's going to win. And I'm like, hey, let me be your best friend. Pierce is different. Brian's different. And I picked them because I needed to elevate who I was. So how are you elevating you? I want you right now to commit that this year, you're going to find one friend that's going to push you outside of your comfort zone, that's going to grow you in the area that you need to grow the most. They might be great with relationships and you're terrible at them. They might be great with having like downtime, chill time, and you're not. They might be really good with reading P&Ls and growing business and having a cash flowing practice. Get into an elevated peer group. If Dental Team can be that place for you, rock on. I'm going to welcome you with open arms if you're our right culture fit. I don't let all practices in. You've got to qualify for it. So reach out and I'd love to see if you're a good fit for our practice or for our company or not. But commit right now that you're going to elevate, or come and join us at Summit and meet people. But I want you to commit right now. You're going to go to one place without anybody, no other friends. You're not going with your buddies because you're going to hang out with them. You're literally going somewhere where you don't know them and you're going to go find somebody that's going to elevate you, that's going to push you, that's opposite of you. That way you can get to your best self. Commit to me. And if you're committed, email me hello@thedentaleteam.com. Join us if we're a good fit for you. April 28th and 29th. Go find an elevated peer group. If you want to join us, head on over to thedentaleteam.com/summit. And I'd love to see you guys out there. I'm going to help you get better friends, all of those different pieces. But right now, commit. Email me hello@thedentaleteam.com. Say, Kiera, I'm elevating this year. And I can't wait to be a support if I can help you. Or tell me where you're going. Tell me what group you're going to go find, where you're going, because I love to hear great groups as well. I'd love to share those resources. Guys, this is your time. But it doesn't just happen. You have to actively seek it. And with that, guys, just know that I'm here for you. I'm rooting for you. And I know that if you take this step, you will literally have your life change. You will grow and evolve as a person. And this isn't just for doctors. This is for teams. All of us. Go find someone that's going to push you, that's going to grow you. And they don't have to be a paid coach. They can literally just be your friend. And with that, guys, thanks for listening. I'll catch you next time on the Dental Team Podcast. And that wraps it up for another episode of the Dental Team Podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.